watching Rogers TV.
Welcome to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. I was joking with my first guest on the show and said we could pretty much do the entire hour with you here on the show, and they actually agreed. But they're here to talk about just an incredible story. That story is the 50th anniversary of the 1974 Ottawa West Golden Knights midget hockey team playing the Russian Central Red Army team. And joining me, I don't think I have to introduce either of these guys to you, but Brian Kilray, of course, member of the Hockey Hall of Fame, and Tim Higgins, who is an 11-year NHL veteran. Welcome to you both.
Thanks
Great to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
This is a story, perhaps, Brian, that not a lot of people are familiar with, and that's why I love having you guys on the show, because we're talking about midget teams, right? So tell me a little bit of the story behind this Russian team coming here to Canada.
Well, the Russian team were demolishing a lot of midget teams across the country. And the last game, they beat some team in Montreal 17-2. Luckily, Murray Costello had asked Bert O'Brien and I to go down and pre-scout them. And so we did, and we went down, and a couple of things really helped us. But it was the putting the team together that really made the difference. West Ottawa had an awful lot, but we were allowed to pick up 6 players from the area. Okay. While we picked wisely, because they all contributed, and to me it was a great game. And I think Bert O'Brien said it best. He said, Howie Meeker said, this Russian team will demolish everyone. They should be playing major junior teams. Well, they had a sellout at the Civic Center, and the game ended 4-4, and some people called it one of the greatest games at the Civic Center.
Yeah, and I mean, they had demolished those, I think it was like 56-10,
yeah,
right? In total of all those teams before they met up with your team that you coached. And Tim, I mean, bringing all these young kids together, 16-year-old kids, you were one of those. Tell me, like, what was the dynamic like?
Well, first off, I don't even think we were 16. So we were playing midget, and I think we were 15.
Okay.
And we had a team out of Ottawa West, and Brian was coaching Ottawa South against us. And we had a gentleman named Bobby Smith, who was he was so good.
Yeah.
But it was our first experience with that many people in a building, you know, as young teenagers. You know, you're used to maybe 100, 200 people in a building, and then to go to the Civic Center and you had over 10,000 people, that was the thrill. And then you're playing against kids from another part of the world, from Russia, and you know, it was an opportunity of a lifetime.
Brian, you know, you mentioned that advanced scouting. Like, what stood out to you in that you thought you could compete against this team that had been demolishing other teams like that?
Well, they did a lot of give and go. And I noticed it right off the bat. They'd pass the puck, jump around the check, and get a return pass naturally being open. So we had told our players, or asked them, when you go and forecheck that guy, you knock him down.
Right.
Don't let him get back into the play or get in his lane. So anyway, we had a strong team after those additions, and they did. They knocked him down. And the Russians weren't ready for that type of game. And it was a physical game. And at the end of the game, they had a Russian defenseman who ended up being a star in the National League that they didn't want to take off the ice. So he accidentally relaced his skate one time, and they didn't need a timeout. They said, oh no, he broke a lace. They didn't want him off the ice because they were concerned that they may lose. And it was 4-4 at the time. And all I remember is the last minute, we did have a couple of shots on net. It didn't go in, but to us, it was a moral victory.
Tim, like leading up to that, I mean, as a group, were you intimidated? Were you nervous after hearing, the stories of how they've been demolishing these other teams leading up? What was the sense in the dressing room between you as young players?
50 years ago, I'd say it's like, it's a lifetime away, but I don't remember the fear. One was our coach, Brian, who didn't put that pressure on you, letting you know who you were coming against. And two, he had a great game plan that if we followed, we were going to be successful. And we all bought into it. And we probably played the game of our lives as a team.
We're just looking at some of the old articles, by the way, just to give viewers an idea of how big of a game this was, and how the community came together, as Tim just described. 10,000 cheering fans. I mean, just unbelievable. So there's a bunch of players in town for this golf tournament that's been going on, right? It's the 52nd edition of the Ottawa Valley Old Timers Golf Day. How long have you been going to this particular tournament?
Well, I think it's about, my Uncle Kenny used to go there, so that, and he's long gone. I think I've probably been there 30 years, maybe 40. And I continue to go because you see some of the past greats. They used to come in from Pembroke, Arm Pryor, Prescott, Leo Boyvan up there, and Prescott used to come in. There were so many, so that you were in awe watching some of these past stars there, and it's something I look forward to. Now it'll be new regime. It's a younger group, but well-deserved.
Yeah, and I guess it's a reunion of sorts for you, Tim, right? To get together with the players. I mean, that's what they're doing, right? They're honoring this 50th anniversary. Have you stayed in touch with any of those guys?
Not really.
Yeah.
Everybody's
after an 11-year NHL career as well, right?
But it's nice because we've been emailing over the last month or so, and you're hooking in with guys that you haven't really seen or talked to in 50 years, and the stories have been amazing.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. I mean, pretty special, right? To go and see all of these greats over all this period of time. And Brian, I mean, you're a legend in this town, right? I mean, honestly, really, what's retirement been like for you?
It's been good. I was still scout, and. But I found that the rinks are a little colder and it's a little tougher coming out of the rink and scraping the snow off. But I've enjoyed it, and I love being a small part still of the 67s.
Yeah, what is it like now watching them from afar? And I mean, a great season last year. Obviously, they didn't reach their goals. But what have you thought about the new coaching, and what do you think of the team going into this season?
Well, as long as they keep that group together, I think James Boyd is a remarkable general manager. Whatever number they put on him, I just hope they can keep him because he's tireless. He works and works. The scouting staff is great, and Dave Cameron already into a second venture with World Junior. They've got a good group looking after it, and so I know that they'll look after the 67 as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, we're proud. We'll be, of course, as we always do, showcasing all of the games here on Rogers TV. Tim, Brian, thanks so much for joining me. Really appreciate your time today. The 52nd edition happening at Highlands Golf Club. You can email doncampbell.ottawa@gmail.com because I believe they may have 2 foursomes left. So reach out to Don if you're interested in joining and meeting some of these incredible greats. We'll be back with more right after this.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
Summer days, summer nights, lots of things to do, places to go, and people to see. If you're having a few drinks, be sure to plan ahead and get home safely. We don't want to pick you up. Drinking drivers risk injuries to themselves and others and take chances with their license, their jobs, and their future. Remember what's at stake and choose your ride, whether you're the driver, the passenger, or the party host. Thanks for supporting Sober Driving. I hope we never meet.
Visit arrivealive.org to find out more.
Hey everybody, my name is Karen. I'm here with my best friends Shane and Monique. Join us on Rogers TV for Fitness Faction. Every week we're going to take you through a full body workout. We've got strength training, we've got cardio, we've got HIIT. Ladies, let's get back into it.
I think we've got 10 more skaters. Let's go.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Hi, I'm Sam LaPrade. I hope you join us for an hour to give right here on Rogers TV. We're going to talk about everything that is going to inspire you about this beautiful city.
9, 8, 7.
You are in for a treat today because we're talking food and drink on the show today. And my next guest, he's a fantastic chef, just an incredible story. Grew up in Paris, France, went to London, now makes home in Toronto, and he's expanded his brand all over the place. Romain Avril joins me here on the show. He's a chef and cookbook author. His cookbook is called The Vegan Bridge Cookbook. Welcome. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Romain, I mentioned sort of your culinary journey and summarized it, but tell everybody at home a little bit about your culinary journey so far.
Yeah, I'm 38 and cooking has been home since the age of 13. So it's been a very, very long time, a passion. I should say, when you wake up in the morning, you already know what you want to do, who you want to be. You just don't think twice. So I had the chance to work at beautiful establishment. You mentioned Michelin star in France, in London, and I made my way to this beautiful country 14 years ago, and that probably was my smartest decision.
So why Canada? What brought you here?
You know what? Actually, when I was 18, there was a student exchange with my school, with a school in Quebec. So I came here for kind of like a first look of the country. It was 2 weeks. I really enjoyed it. And I said, you know what? One day I'll be back. And after 4 years...
I think we have an audio issue with you here. Hold on. Let me just... Actually, you know what? I see what the issue is. Hold on 1 second. Here. Okay, there, we fixed it, I think. We'll see. They'll let us know. They were picking off my mic, so don't worry about that.
Gotcha.
So you made your way here, but as I said, you've expanded your brand. We'll talk a little bit more about that because we want to prepare something for our viewers here today. What are you making?
Absolutely. I hear earlier that you had a cottage, or you enjoy going to the cottage. So we are going to elevate our barbecue experience. Like summer, we're thinking lots of grilled items. But we're going to take an unusual take to it because we're going to use mustard to elevate everything.
Nice.
And what I want to show you is like the diversity of mustard can be. But I'm not going to talk about like ballpark mustard, although it's great on a hot dog. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
And we have some Canadian legends, hockey legends earlier, so they know all about that. But today we're going to use product from France, which is Dijon mustards, which is my favorite brand.
Oh, mine too. I told you that before the show. As soon as I saw the brand, I said to you, and talk about expansion like you have. I mean, what they offer now as a product line is incredible, right?
And it's available. And you know what? For somebody who was enjoying this product since I was literally I couldn't even reach the table, now much bigger.
Yeah.
But it's a product that is so nice to be able to have a taste of home here in Canada. And you mentioned it's the line of products, and I wanted to show kind of like everything you could do with some of these products.
All right. Well, let's get started.
Yes. So the first thing we're going to do is I wanted to kind of like show you a take on, we have the potato salad. We all love a potato salad. Mm-hmm. That being said, we want to spark things up a little bit. Yeah. And I'm going to put you to work if that's okay.
All right. Absolutely.
So right here we have some potatoes that I've pre-cooked. Simply, with a bit of thyme, some garlic. And I'm going to ask you to please mush it up.
You got it. All right.
While you do that, I'm going to turn the stove on Here we go. Because what we want to do is actually potato patties. And the secret ingredient to that recipe is going to be mustard. Not any kind. This one is what we call the classic grainy mustard.
Yes.
So it's going to not only bring that lovely taste that we get from Dijon mustard, but also that little pop of flavor, right? You really taste that, like,
when each seed gets
you know what I mean?
pops
Like,
in your
it's
mouth.
fun, right?
So
it's
good.
food is
It
also
is
about
fun.
having fun.
How's
Delicious.
this?
That's great.
Is that good?
And then from here, you're gonna add the mustard. Keep that a mix. A bit of olive oil right here.
All right.
And then what you would get is those beautiful patties, right? So once we have formed that, we're gonna have these delicious little patties. They're very simple. Something you can make ahead. I mean, they came with me from Toronto, so they clearly survived very easily. So even if you do it at home, and I'm not sure I turned the right on. Yeah, they turn.
Oh yeah, you're going
it's coming,
there.
it's coming, it's coming.
I love how the chef always puts the hand
you
there,
have to,
right?
you have
Unlike
to.
the rest of us.
Making sure.
You got the chef hands.
And so there you go, you have this beautiful thing going on. Of course, you could still go with the classic and make like what we call like a Dijonnaise, so a bit of mayonnaise, mustard, that goes very well. But the idea here is to kind of give that a sear. And when my pan is hot, I'm gonna sear them. And then this is pretty much what you would get.
This is the final product right
exactly,
here.
Right?
Very
so
nice.
Very delicious, enjoyable. And
would you eat it with anything else? Would you add something to it?
I mean, like, and that's kind of also where we have different things on the table, because I think this is just an accompaniment, and we'll talk later a bit about the pork, and I think that's a perfect pairing for it.
Okay.
So more on that soon.
Okay, gotcha.
But you see, my pan's hot, so before we get on to the dressing, I kind of want to show you one more little trick, because we're going to talk about dressing.
Okay.
I don't know if it's heating very well, but you know what? It's gonna get it's gonna get hot as we talk.
People can use their imagination at home.
Exactly. It's searing.
And I imagine dressing for you is homemade, right? Because there's store-bought stuff. You read the labels and you see what's inside.
And it's just so easy to make.
Right? And it is.
You're gonna see in 30 seconds. We're gonna have like one of the best dressing you'll ever had, and we're gonna use the classic Dijon mustard, so like the creaminess. Why this product? Well, because it's premium, it tastes really good, but also it's going to help emulsify. You get lots of dressing that are like broken, like you always have to shake it up.
Yes.
Not a fan of those. They feel sometimes very oily, and that's going to be the secret to kind of like get our stuff together. And they come, which I love, this is new.
The squeeze
bottle. They actually come in a squeeze bottles.
That's nice.
So that is pretty cool, because again, when you go outside and you're cooking outdoor, you don't always have a spoon on you, so giving those squeeze is always great.
Picnics, cottage, camping, that kind of thing.
You know what I mean?
Perfect.
And even at home, actually. Even if you barbecue,
for sure.
you know what I mean? Then I'm going to add a bit of vinegar. So this is some sherry vinegar. They have many, many different ones, but I do like the sherry. I feel like it gives that like a little oaky flavor.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like again, we're talking about like those beautiful flavors that are going to work all together. And to me, the sherry dressing works well.
Oh, I got to try that.
And you're going to see I'm just going to knead that together, so they need to be combined. And from here, very simply, I'm just going to add some olive oil.
Okay.
So like a good olive oil, of course, like we want to make sure that we keep all our products kind of like of the same caliber. And it's light, it's flavorful, and the idea is not just to put it on a salad, we're actually going to put it on the peppers that we have over there. So grilled veggies right from the barbecue. It's not just for a salad, you can also add
you would not marinate the veggies, you would use this as sort of a sauce
and
after.
right off the grill, we're going to dress them with the dressing. It's going to brighten them up. You have a sweet pepper, and that's going to be acidic. It's going to be very, very delicious, and you're going to see how like the pepper is going to speak to you.
We've got another segment coming up with Romain, so we'll come back, we'll talk a little pork, we'll finish this off for you as well. We'll be back with Romain Avril right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Think it's okay to drive high? Think again. Drug-impaired driving is as illegal as drunk driving, and in Ontario, the penalties are the same. If police suspect you're driving under the influence of drugs of any kind, or a combination of drugs and alcohol, and you fail a roadside test, your license will be suspended immediately for up to 30 days. You'll pay a penalty of $198. And you can be charged with a criminal offense of impaired driving, the same as alcohol. Driving high is never okay.
Bringing you your community news and events is me, Dave Hilson. Free movie nights are back in Westboro Village this summer. Watch some throwback favorites underneath the stars with Capitol Pop-Up Cinema. Next one coming up August 16th, Flight of the Navigator, then Matilda on September 6th. Next, trying to lose a few pounds but need a little bit of help? Then join the nonprofit support group TOPS, Take Off Pounds Sensibly. Takes place every Monday night at the Orleans United Church. Weigh-ins begin at 6:15 p.m., followed by meeting at 7. Lastly, south of Ottawa, in Winchester on Saturday, July 27th, is the 4th annual Rally Scavenger Hunt. So fill your car with friends and family with an entry fee of only $25 and win $100 cold hard cash. All profit goes to the House of Lazarus. For these and other events, or to post your very own, please visit the Ottawa billboard at rogerstv.com. Thanks for watching Rogers Channel 22 and have a wonderful day.
Are you a content creator looking to expand your audience and make your voice heard in your community? Rogers TV wants to provide you with a platform to share your hobbies, interests, and stories for free. Visit us to find out more.
Welcome back to the show. We are back with Chef Romain Avril. Of course, check out his cookbook, the Vegan Bridge Cookbook. We're not talking necessarily vegan on the show today because we're moving to proteins and we're talking pork. And pork's probably a great protein to talk about because if you're looking at something affordable, Romain, this is probably where a lot of people are turning to, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? We have to give a shout to Ontario pork farmers.
Yes.
You know what? I come from France where we tend to love our pork or love our proteins, but I've been nothing but blessed with what we have to offer. And you know what, like a piece of pork like this, which is high quality, is only $17. Definitely 2 people can eat. So I would say this is very like a good like replacement. It's still a steak. You still have that barbecue atmosphere. It's not beef, but as we know, beef right now is quite expensive.
Yes, exactly.
So you see right here, we have a little potatoes from earlier. So
Looks
I'm just going to turn that off so we don't burn them. That's the last thing we want to do today. And well, this is kind of like going. This is the sauce. I'm going to talk to you about in a second, but I want to talk about marinating. You know, sometimes we try to get like very fancy, like you need to bring 1,000 different products, and again, we don't want to do that. We're going to elevate without having to work too hard. And I'm going to use another squeezy bottle too. Nice. We love them, and that's the honey Dijon by Mai. So you're going to get that like mustard, the Dijon flavor, but also the little honey that's going to caramelize on the barbecue.
And pork and sweet go well together.
They go so well together. And then again, like all you got to do really is just a little squeeze, a little brush on your pork, and then you have like an instant marinade. You actually don't have to do it like quite like, you know, forever ago before you start cooking. And if I can give one little tip to a viewer when it comes to cooking protein, taking it out of the fridge quite early before we start cooking, at least 30 minutes, so the meat has time to rest, has time to come to temperature, it's going to relax, it's going to be beautiful just like you as you're about to cook it.
But it does make a difference, right? You want it at sort of room temperature is the idea.
Room temperature.
Quick question for you. Oftentimes when you're using something that has some sweetness to it, people have recommended to me to put it on at the end because you might, you know, burn that sugar. How do you cook this properly to avoid that?
I think one thing we have issues with when we barbecue is wanting to cook on big flames. And it's really not what we actually want to. You prefer creating those flames, let them kind of like die a bit, and then we can start cooking. I think the issue of burning sugars, in this case the honey, is because it's too close to the flame. You prefer almost like it taking its time, cooking slowly, so the heat comes through gently, and it's not actually like crusting off in the middle is raw.
Now I know the mistake I've been making.
There you go. Trust me, I've eaten my dad's barbecue for a long time, and I never told him. Good thing he doesn't speak English. He doesn't speak English. I'm safe. I'm safe. I'm safe. And then after you grill it, this is kind of like the product that you'll have.
This is the finished product here.
Beautiful pork loin sliced. Again, 2 people can eat easily on it. But you know what? To serve it, we want to make a sauce. I'm French. I do love French cooking. So we do love to always make a sauce. And here is a charcutière sauce. So
really? I've never heard of that.
It's actually very simple. I took it to a point where we don't have to wait too long. And here we have an onion that was just cooked, deglazed with some wine, added some stock. Here you have demi-glace, which is a reduction of stock. That's going to bring that like really strong flavor. It's going to emulsify it as well.
Any particular kind of stock that you're using?
It's pork. It's rare to have a pork stock. So in this case, it's a beef demi-glace.
Okay. Oh my goodness, I can smell the wine in the demi-glace.
And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add 2 types of mustard. So one is going to be the Granny Dijon.
Okay.
And the second one is going to be the classic mustard. So that's really going to give us like a really vibrant flavor to it. And you can be as generous or not as you want it to. And we're going to mix that up. It's very easy to make.
No kidding.
The idea is to kind of like letting bubbling up is going to reduce.
Okay.
Then I'm going to add what we call a beurre manier. It's simple butter and flour.
Oh, really?
We're going to incorporate that instead of like, you know, creaming it or anything. Like we're just going to add a bit of this. I mean, a bit of butter always.
Yeah,
I am
of
French
course,
after all.
French.
But the fun part, because we talked about it, we have sweet peppers, we have a sweet pork. Balance.
Okay.
Balance is also a key word in cooking. The reason why sometimes we feel stuffed and we can't eat because we eat too much fat. Too many, like we saturate our palate, we saturate our stomach. So we want to create that digestion process. And acidity is going to really help. And that's also why vinegars, mustard, all of that is really good. We have fermentation, we have acidic. And that's why we're going to finish the sauce with some gherkins. But not any gherkins, of course. We have and let me tell you.
So good, but if you've never tried this.
Or a snack. People have popcorn. This is what I'm snacking on, okay?
I think you made the better choice. Yeah.
It's healthier. I'm sure. I don't know about my livers because I eat I can eat a jar in like 5 minutes, no doubt.
I could probably do the same.
It's so delicious. It's sweet and it works so well, and it's gonna have like fragrance and such a lovely crunch as well to the sauce. So I mean, I don't know about you, but like I get excited when I get to eat those beautiful products.
Yeah, absolutely. With pork, is it the same idea as beef and letting it rest? Is that important still?
You know what? I'm also a teacher, and one thing I do tell is rest, rest, rest. Doesn't matter what you everything.
Okay.
You take a cake out of the oven. If it says like, you know, when they tell you like remove a toothpick and it's clean, actually it's already cooked. So if you let that rest like it's supposed to, it's going to be overcooked. So I think we tend to overcook things, and we have to think about resting time. And that goes for fish. That goes for meat. Any meat and any fish as well, of course. The rule of thumb, half the time you cooked it.
Okay.
So, for example, a piece of pork like this, to have this kind of like
nice little pink in there.
Slightly pink, so we're on a medium.
Right.
I let it rest for like 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then people tend to tell me, well, it's cold now. The idea is once it's rested, you can put it back. It's not going to cook again, right? Like the idea is to like keep it warm. I much prefer it gets cold and you reheat it rather than you just slice it. You're losing the juices, what people call blood. This is actually the good part. You want that to stay within the protein and not to run away from it.
Well, and then if you have it a little cold, you put something like this on, right?
And it helps too. You know what I mean? If it's just warm, you had a little sauce, and you know, like. You can heat your food really, really hot, but that's not really the key, right? I mean, like those, if it's cooked properly, it's not going to be like boiling hot anyway.
Romain, what a pleasure finally meeting you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
And you're welcome back anytime. I said that to you during the break, and I mean it. By the way, you can find him on social media at Chef Romain Avril. You can visit his website as well. And if you want to have a look at any of these products, you can head over to unleashtheflavors.ca. Flavors, of course, spelt the correct way, the Canadian way. We'll be back with more right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you. That is
The Order of Ottawa celebrates outstanding citizens. Recipients come from diverse backgrounds. They make exceptional contributions in many areas of city life. They are advocates for minorities. They are media experts and visionaries in community building, innovators in healthcare, leaders in education. They are technology leaders and entrepreneurs. They entertain us. They are passionate about arts and culture. They are outstanding citizens and members of the Order of Ottawa. Who inspires you? Who will you nominate?
Hi, I'm Sam LaPrade, host of Ottawa Business Matters. We're going to gather here every single week and speak about business here in the capital. We're going to inspire, influence, and inform.
Best you.
Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV.
Hey, welcome back to the show. As promised, we're still talking food. Delicious treats coming up next. And the best part of these delicious treats, it gives back to a great cause. And that is here in Ottawa, the CHEO Foundation. And joining me from the CHEO Foundation, I'm joined by Emily Jameson, the VP of Corporate Philanthropy and Community Engagement. Welcome back.
Derek,
great to have
you
you
so much
here.
for having me again.
You were just telling me 50th anniversary as well
Yes.
of CHEO. And I was saying, I've been to CHEO as a child myself.
You know what? Most people have, if they're at a certain age, obviously, since we're 50 years old. But I, too, have been a patient of CHEO many times. But we're not going to talk about that here today. We're going to talk about blizzards.
Exactly, because this is a day, I mean, so many people wait for. I mean, we love blizzards year-round. But this is a really special partnership. Tell us about the partnership.
Sure. So it's actually our 30th year of being partners with Dairy Queen Canada. And we do Miracle Treat Day. And it's August 8th. So mark your calendars, everybody. August 8th, all net proceeds of blizzards go back to CHEO Foundation.
How important has this been for CHEO over these 30 years?
Well, we've raised last year alone $200,000 for CHEO. It goes to our urgent needs, so anything from medical equipment to our family assistance fund. All these proceeds of sales go directly back to the families that we service.
You've brought some treats along with you here. Like, are we supposed to be testing these?
Today I thought it might be fun if we kind of went through some of the flavors and did a little taste test ourselves, since you just obviously had
yes, I've had the main course. Now we get to have dessert.
So we're each going to take 2 of each flavors and give it a little whirl, and then we'll see which ones we both like the most.
All right.
All right. So this one here, actually,
I think
maybe
that's Smartie you've got
so
there.
you get one here too.
All right. I'll give you. This is cotton candy.
Okay.
All right.
And we really should have birthday cake flavor, since it is our 50th birthday.
Yeah, 50th birthday. This is brownie. This one here.
I kind of know which one I'm already going to love the most.
Really?
Chocolate fan.
Chocolate fan.
Chocolate fan.
But Smartie's got some chocolate in there too.
Well, we'll give it a test. We'll do it at the same time. Smartie
it's a tough job, by the way, everyone. Emily and I did not want to have to do this, but they told us this is a must to do on live television.
So we're going to eat and do an interview, which is a first for me, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, I've never interviewed while
I've done it many times,
eating,
so good luck.
So thanks. We'll see.
You never know. You never know what's going to happen. Our volunteer coordinator here is standing by to try to steal treats, so just watch yourself, Emily.
There's enough for everyone. Oh, this is actually really good, this one. Smartie.
That is really good.
So the more you buy on August 8th, the more you support CHEO Foundation.
And the more you get to eat a delicious treat, right?
Absolutely. Okay, so I would give that a 9.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go to brownie because I feel like I'm going to like this one.
I think, you know what? I should have started with cotton candy.
Okay, let's do cotton candy.
Yeah.
We'll do this. I've never had a cotton candy blizzard before, so
I should have had Shirley from Savvy Company with some wine that would match with these, because we would need to cleanse our palates each time. Shirley from Savvy, by the way, coming up shortly.
Absolutely, we'll cleanse our palates with some wine and blizzard.
A rosé would go great with this. Oh my gosh, cotton candy. That is really good.
It's not what I was expecting.
In a good way?
All right.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm gonna grade them when I've tried all of them.
I'm just gonna rate my top one.
Okay.
Okay. And this is the brownie.
By the way, there's chunks of brownie in the brownie.
So this is my favorite.
Yeah.
It kind of just tastes like chocolate cake batter.
I think I'm putting that number 1. I'm going Smartie number 2 and cotton candy number 3. However, they're all in that 9 to 10 range
Well, it's 10 on 10 when you're helping children.
That is true. Yeah, let's talk about the CHEO Foundation in general, right? You mentioned specifically
Sure.
where the proceeds are going for this, but the CHEO Foundation in general, obviously you're there to support the hospital and the kids, right?
So we service over 500,000 youth on an annual basis. So it's a lot of children. So for Miracle Treat Day, I'll give you an example. We have 34 stores participating, everywhere from Petawawa to Brockville. Like, our catchment is so much larger than people even know. So we service a large population. So all these funds go to obviously servicing the youth, and everything from equipment. By the way, our equipment is so specialized in comparison even to like a regular adult hospital.
Of course, yeah.
Because we have every size of human being, from a tiny, tiny baby to someone my size is actually walking through the door. So our equipment, we actually need all different sizes for.
Right.
So we help service those needs. So the foundation gives over about $3 million to equipment on an annual basis, and much more towards other things, but equipment alone. So if there's an urgent piece of equipment, like let's say an MRI magnet needs to be replaced, which it does, and we need to actually pay for this right now. We would take these urgent dollars and put it towards that.
We're just looking at some photos, by the way, and I wanted to bring this to your attention on the monitor here, because you had a special day on the 24th, right? Tell us what happened here with DQ.
So this is amazing. So we had some franchise owners, the managers come through. They donated, it was close to about 1,500 blizzards for all the staff.
My goodness.
And there was lineups around the corner, and they gave free blizzards to all the staff members at CHEO, which was beautiful, and patients too. So we got to walk through each floor, delivering it to each patient, get to hear their stories a little bit closer, but also the staff to say thank you.
Yeah.
And this is all on behalf of...
Look at this happy patient. I mean, how can you not be?
I know.
Right?
I love my job. I really love my job.
Yeah, and you must hear stories all the time, right, from families and that have had children. I mean, I
have 2
how
children
incredible
myself.
is that?
I'm there to support, obviously, all children, and like my kids too have been through CHEO, and just to hear their stories and how much it's helped them and impact them. Like, we're there to service the kids. CHEO Foundation makes sure that we go above and beyond helping our patients and make sure they receive the level of service that they deserve early.
I know we can't talk about it, but there is some exciting news coming up shortly, right?
There is.
I've been told that's all I can say, and that's all you can say.
I can give you a hint.
Okay.
There's some cranes on site at CHEO.
Okay.
That will help more and more children for years to come. So.
Well, and your team has reached out to me, so I've told them when the announcement has officially been made, we'll have you guys back on to talk about that, because it's going to be an incredible announcement.
Yeah.
The community support, by the way, here in Ottawa and the Ottawa region, not only for CHEO, but for so many different charities and organizations, is just incredible. This is the easiest way you can raise funds for CHEO. Again, that's coming up. The DQ Miracle Treat Day, DQ locations, of course, throughout the Ottawa region, Thursday, August the 8th. Buy some for the entire family. Buy some for your entire office and enjoy. Emily, thanks again.
Darren,
really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be back with more, and we'll have to finish these, so be patient.
This is a man's heart, a heart in desperate need of medical attention. But because 78% of Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare, he may not get the help he needs. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
Your community news and events for end of July, I'm Vera Skoltetti. Looking for a fun and educational activity for the kids? Head over to the Bank of Canada Museum for a play-based exhibition on money and personal finance. It's a great way for children to learn while having a blast. Best of all, admission is free. The exhibition is on now until fall at 30 Bank Street. Don't miss out on this exciting opportunity to teach your kids about financial literacy and visit the Bank of Canada Museum today. Les Grands Feux du Casino Lac Leamy is back this July 31st to August 17th at the Canadian Museum of History and Casino Lac Leamy. This summer tradition has been celebrated for over 2 decades, featuring grandiose pyromusical performances, diverse multisensory programming, local culinary delights, and stunning digital art installations. For more information, visit fur.qc.ca. For more events and to have yours listed, visit rogerstv.com/communitybillboards.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. I have a crew that's certainly anticipating those Dairy Queen treats, so we'll try to move through this as quickly. I'm kidding. We're going to take our time because we are talking wine and ciders and coffee. They do it all at Savvy Company. Of course, you know, we just had that LCBO strike that went on. Of course, that is over, but that doesn't mean it's not still a great opportunity to tell you how you can get some incredible Canadian wines that you will not find at the LCBO. Shirley Roy is the Savvy Company sommelier that usually joins us here on the show. Welcome back, Shirley.
Thanks,
great
Derek.
to have you here.
Good to see you.
I imagine, good to see you too. I imagine during those few days that we had a strike, things must have been just crazy over at Savvy.
It was a little busier than usual, but I'm not complaining.
Yeah,
I'm not complaining, but I think people were, especially because it's summer and they're going to visit friends or they're going to the cottage, and so they want a few special wines to enjoy, and we have quite a loyal customer base that knows they can get wine from us anytime, but we found some new customers for sure when the LCBO strike is on, and continue to through word of mouth and through, we do some email marketing and things like that. But yeah, we're this summer we're really focusing on, because we're all about meet the maker. Ontario's wine industry is much bigger than you see at the shelves at the LCBO, and I think most people know that. There's a lot of wines that aren't on those shelves, and so those are the wineries we deal with, and we find some hidden gems. There's 3 or 4 of us that do some sampling. It's a tough job.
Oh, that is a tough. I thought my job was tough. That's even more difficult, Shirley. My goodness.
So we make sure we get wines of a certain quality, and so that you can try. And again, wine is like food, a very personal preference thing.
Right.
I might really like an oaky Chardonnay, and that might not be your thing, or vice versa. But so you might not like everything we send you. We're doing something this summer called surprise packs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
It's 5 wines, and you can choose all whites, all reds, or a little combo with 2 reds, 2 whites, and a rosé.
Nice.
And these are wines that we've sampled and tested, and we like, and we want to share and let people find these hidden gems, and if they like them, they can order them through us again.
And you have a summer special right now, isn't it? Like free delivery right now?
Free delivery
Is
on
that
our
right?
surprise packs.
Okay, excellent.
And we even have the big surprise packs. If you really trust us, we got a case of wine, 4 rosés, 4 reds, 4 whites.
Nice.
And so a lot of people were ordering those.
Well, and I think it's a great idea too. Let's just say you didn't like one of them, right? It's an opportunity. You have guests over. I mean, it's still somebody's going to enjoy the glass of wine, right?
Absolutely. And it's a chance. And a lot of people actually were telling me that they have visitors from out of Canada coming to visit, whether it's the States or Europe. So it's a chance to showcase some Canadian wines. We've got some great wines in Canada. I've poured us an unoaked Chardonnay.
Okay.
So we have all wine regions of Ontario specifically right now.
Right.
We don't have a lot of BC wines right now, but we get the occasional Nova Scotia wine in.
Okay.
But right
it's
now,
still difficult, right?
There's the interprovincial trade.
It drives. It's one of my pet peeves. Yeah. I don't understand why we make it such a difficult thing for people to do. Right.
I know.
So tell me about this wine. This is from Fielding. Is that right?
Fielding in Niagara area. So I think this is an unoaked Chardonnay, and for those who have likely heard of Chardonnay, you might not see on a label, you might just see Chardonnay, but Fielding's actually put unoaked on their label.
And that differs how?
Well, it means that it never went into oak barrel.
Right.
So it means that it was fermented and made in a stainless steel tank, and it's got the freshness of the fruit. oak tends to mellow it out a little bit. You tend to get, you taste.
Is that when you get more of the vanilla butter kind of thing?
I was going to say, you get taste more of that. It's usually aged a little bit longer.
Okay.
The winemakers have to babysit it, so it's a little more expensive to get an oak Chardonnay, but yes, it's got more of the vanilla butterscotch notes in it. And some people love it, and some people really prefer an un-oaked Chardonnay.
Right, and so this is more the fruity, the citrus,
the pear, the apple, little bit of citrus.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a nice summer wine, easy drinking. Salads, salmon, anything like that. It doesn't sipping on your back deck with no food.
Yeah, exactly. We should tell everybody you don't just deal in wines.
That's
you
right.
also deal with cideries, right?
I was remiss. I didn't bring any of the ciders that we currently have, but yeah, we deal with Ontario craft ciders, and Ontario now has 62 or something craft cideries in the province. Every month, and I should mention, along with our surprise packs, we do subscription boxes. So we have monthly subscribers for wine, craft cider, cheesemakers as well. We do a cheese parcel every month and feature a different Canadian cheesemaker.
Which I think is really special because, again, this is the same idea of you probably won't find these cheeses even in some of the specialty stores here in Ottawa, right?
You might find one from, we featured some Quebec cheeses last month. You might find one of them in a cheese shop, but not the 4 different wedges that we sent our subscribers. And we always include a little gourmet food goodie as well. Like
I've been to some of your private cheese tastings, and oh my goodness, especially Quebec cheeses, because they can do it a little bit differently than Ontario. Maybe a lot of people out there don't realize that, but again, from province to province, there are different rules and regulations, right, when it comes to cheese making.
It's a little easier with cheese, and we're now into micro-roasted coffee beans. So with the food, we can go across borders. But yeah, it's getting it here too, especially in the warm months. Shipping cheese is a little bit tricky, but we have good cold packs.
Micro-roasted coffee beans, does that mean it's sort of small batch?
Yes, exactly.
That's the idea?
So this is all small batch, all focusing. I mean, obviously we don't have coffee beans that are being picked in Canada. So these are people dealing with the farmers in, whether it's South America or, overseas in Ethiopia. They get the beans here, they do the roasting themselves, and we just got some this summer. We're focusing on Alberta, an Alberta roastery.
Oh, really?
And because of the elevation difference between Ontario and Alberta, like they're at 2,800 feet above sea level or something like that. It affects how they roast the coffee.
That's cool.
So
that's really
it's
interesting.
a little bit of an education for people who are really passionate about cheese or coffee or cider. We have things to discover.
SavvyCompany.ca, by the way, if you want to try one of these surprise packs, or you want to subscribe to any of them, whether it be cheese or wine or cider or delicious roasted coffee beans, there's certainly an opportunity for you. Their next event, by the way, is coming up in November. So keep an eye out for that.
We don't want to talk about November yet.
No, not yet. But subscribe to the newsletter, and then you'll get all the information. We'll be back talking more food right after this with Capital Eats. Rolf is back here on the show. Don't go anywhere.
Are you low on food? Struggling to pay the bills? Overwhelmed by life's challenges? When you need support but don't know where to turn, just dial 211. 211 connects you to the programs or services near you.
211, how can I help you?
211, help starts here.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
When I was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome, I was deteriorating in front of everybody.
All my life I lived with sickle cell. I went through a tragic crisis that put me in a coma for 3 weeks. While I was in there, I received a lot of blood to put me in a healthier state.
I was given the plasma then through IVIG. Even though that happened so long ago, it still has a massive impact on me today.
Thanks to donors, I can live another life.
Because of you, I will be seeing my grandchild.
I'm Sam LaPratte. I hope you join us for an hour to give right here on Rogers TV. We're going to talk about everything that is going to inspire you about this beautiful city.
Welcome back to the show. We are back talking food again here on the show, and what I love about having our next guest on the show is he really introduces us to incredible restaurants, incredible grocery stores, anything foodie. If you love food, you need to subscribe to Capital Eats. Ralph Janikis is the food and drink editor over at Capital Eats, and today we're doing the Best of Ottawa Spring Edition with you today, Rolf, right?
Yes, exactly. And, you know, when I was growing up in Ottawa, before I left, like I said before, you can count on one hand the number of good places to eat. That's how old I am. Yeah. Now, of course,
I'm the same.
Coming back, Ottawa has changed so much. We have such great diversity now, and people bringing, you know, their great traditions to the city. And increasingly, there are fantastic places to eat that, so many of which don't even break the bank.
Yeah, so that's what I love. And you're right? When you used to go out to eat, oftentimes it was a roadhouse or a steakhouse. Yeah. That's what we had. Nowadays, there's affordability, but we have a mix too, right? We have special occasion places, and I think that's where we're going to start, because you took a trip out to Chateau Montebello. Yeah. You hadn't been there in quite some time. Tell me about that experience, Rolf.
Montebello was unique, and I particularly enjoyed, and people that I've spoken to, they're going to laugh, because there was this one picture of the G7 meeting in 1981, and Pierre Trudeau is in the center of that photo, and he looks like he's about to rip off his jacket and start flying through the air. And there was Reagan there, Margaret Thatcher, the German Chancellor. It was fascinating to look at that photo and have these memories come flooding back. But they had actually announced to me that there's a brand new restaurant called Naimark, which was named after Victor Naimark. And that's the photo there. He's the Finnish fellow that was hired to actually oversee the building of Montebello.
Really?
And so this is the Naimark restaurant, and it is inspired what the chef Justin Charette calls ancestral Quebecois. Now, they use sumac, they use pine, spruce, they use indigenous ingredients. There's this great mix of cultures of traditional indigenous foods and also Quebecois. And so they try to source as locally as possible. The food there is off the hook, and it's a little pricier. It's a special occasion kind of place.
Right.
But my goodness, the wine list, a lot of which features wines from Quebec. Very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
when you and I ran into each other at an event last week, you said, Derek, Montebello's new Naimark was absolutely incredible,
it's
right?
Definitely
it's an experience, and that's what you want when you go out to eat quite often,
I agree.
right?
I agree.
Let's talk Trattoria Cafe Italia, a place that I've been to on many occasions. This is a fantastic spot, too.
Yeah, it's been around for more than 30, 33, 35 years. And what I love about this place, it was new to me. But what was even more new to me is that they do everything from scratch. They make all their pastas. They have this beautiful, spotless kitchen, but below that kitchen, they have another kitchen where they break down animal carcasses, where they use everything. They make their own pasta down there. And of course, when you make your own pasta, you have to have a drying area for the pasta. And so this is a place, while they don't call themselves slow food, it's basically a slow food philosophy that they employ.
I had no idea about that basement.
Yeah. And of course, their wine cellar, they have some of the most amazing blue chip wines you'll find anywhere in Ottawa. People
Nice.
don't know this. And they have wines, Barolos, going back to 1979.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's really something.
Next up, I love sushi. Nagi sushi is one of the highlights for you as well.
Yeah, I was looking forward to Nagi opening. Moriyuki Hiroha goes by the name Shu. He was the sushi master for about 30 years or so at Seijapon Suisha on Slater and Bank.
Okay.
And he finally opened up his own restaurant, and it's based in Orleans on Saint Joseph Boulevard. The food is fantastic, as you would expect. The man has experience.
Yeah.
And just as important as presentation is the ability to choose the fish. His fish is flawless.
Nice.
It's as good as a lot of the best that I've had in places like Vancouver or Toronto.
Wow.
So he really takes his time to...
And simple ambiance, right? We just saw the photo there, and I think I like that about going to a sushi spot, right?
Yeah.
It's not fancy. It's all, the whole concentration is about the food because it has to be fresh
Exactly.
to be excellent quality. Next up is Sona, the Indian kitchen. Tell us about that.
That was a real surprise for me. I of course, got to know over the years Joe Totongal of Coconut Lagoon and Tali. But to find this Indian restaurant was a real surprise and a real hidden gem. As a matter of fact, people might have trouble finding it. You have to drive down Hunt Club, just cross Bank Street about 200 meters and make sure that you see a sign for a chiropractor because it's this hidden strip mall.
Okay.
The food is largely North Indian with some South Indian dishes, so it gets a little spicy. But their shrimp rye tamatar, which you see right here, is one of the most delicious things I've eaten in years, and it's not spicy at all.
Really?
But it's unique. And
But flavorful.
Oh my
right,
God,
and that's
it's
what
so
you get
deep.
from Italian. Well, good Indian cuisine is the flavors, right? Our next level, because that's when I like going out. I love going to something like an Indian restaurant because I don't have the 17 spices.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's again.
I agree.
We're talking about that experience. We've run out of time here, but I'm going to tell you, stick around because instead of wrapping up on my own, I'll wrap up with you and we'll talk Jay Fuse coming up after the
Sounds
break.
good.
So back with Rolf to talk about our last restaurant here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Are you a content creator looking to expand your audience and make your voice heard in your community? Rogers TV wants to provide you with a platform to share your hobbies, interests, and stories for free. Visit us to find out more.
Hi, I'm Sam LaPrade, host of Ottawa Business Matters. We're going to gather here every single week and speak about business here in the capital. We're going to inspire, influence, and inform.
Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV.
All right, we didn't want to let you go without talking about the last restaurant because, again, this is a fantastic spot where if you want to really impress someone and go on a special occasion, you're celebrating something, perhaps an anniversary, Jay Fuse is the place to go. Tell us about Jay Fuse.
Jay Fuse made it on my list as one of the best destinations of the last while because it's a beautiful spot. It's very modern, very chic. You feel like you're in some kind of Hollywood movie.
Nice.
You're living the life, and the cocktails are delicious. The food is very good. They specialize in something called aburi sushi, which is like a typical kind of sushi, but they scorch the top of the sushi with a torch, and so it's a little bit cooked, it's a little bit raw, and they do all kinds of things, including these delicious salads. I mean,
yeah,
the
we
salads,
just saw a photo of one of them.
Just fantastic.
And then you did like a pasta of some kind.
They
right?
do this amazing pasta, which is made with portobello mushrooms and cream, and it looks like it's a modest size, but trust me, it's filling.
Rolf, always a pleasure. We'll see you again next month. That's located, by the way, on 175 Main Street. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time here on Daytime.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Some of Canada's most interesting and accomplished people share their lives, careers, insights, and stories each week on Canada Files. I'm Valerie Pringle, and I'll be speaking with economist Mark Carney, actor Eugene Levy, author Louise Penny, and architect Moshe Safdie, among others. I hope you can join